I first met Sumail, I knew this kid was going to be big.
Sumail and me started playing Dota when I was 15 and he was 8. He had this passion. For Sumail, all that mattered was being the best.
His desire to compete at the highest level, his will to be a professional, that was the most prominent thing that I got from him. So when a spot opened up on Able Geniuses, Sumail was the first person that we thought of.
At first, Sumail's parents were very skeptical about esports, but even though it was a very scary decision, his parents really believed in him.
I lived in Pakistan for 15 years, and growing up, I wanted to play so bad that I sold my bicycle just to play for more hours. My dad worked really hard to get me and my family here. I live with 8 family members in a small apartment, and I share my room with 3 family members. I play about 9 hours a day. It needs a lot of hard work and dedication, and in Dota, there's always something new, so you just can't stop.
Sumail's entire life revolves around Dota. Aside from school and his family, this is pretty much his life. This is what he's been doing since he's been 6. I think he's established himself quickly as one of the most skilled mid players in the game. But I think what's going to be really important for him as he develops is how he interacts with his teammates.
I have a lot of room to improve. At Summit 3, I thought I was the only reason our team lost because I just played so poorly. Fear helped me learn just to trust your teammates. He told me that the good players learn from their mistake and not get upset. Instead, they practice out, and that's how you become the best.
Sumail's definitely a confident player. He came in at 15 years old and somehow managed to win the biggest prize pool outside of the international. And a lot of that had to do with his confidence in himself. If he didn't have that, under all of that pressure, I think most players would have just crumbled.
PG are your TI5 champions! And they will claim the Aegis of the Immortal. They are the champions here in front of their home crowd.
I went around and talked to players about joining our team, and nobody wanted to play with us. Everyone thought that we were on the losing end of this Western shuffle.
As soon as we lost our TZ and Zai, everyone would be like, welcome to becoming a tier 2 team again, EG.
When we picked up Aoi and Sumail, there was a lot of uncertainty, and we kind of picked them up because we didn't really have too many other options because all the other teams had their rosters set, and TI was, only a couple of months away.
We were feeling pretty insecure about our team at the time, and we just wanted to place well and do well, and I think we definitely surprised people. I think everyone expected us to be the weaker team.
Just winning something like that is just every Dota player's dream, honestly. That's why TI came out, and everyone's like, I want to win TI, but DAC was pretty much like a TI as well.
Probably helped Sumail and Aoi out the most. We've won tournaments before, but those guys, they haven't won as many tournaments, and Sumail, it was his 2nd tournament ever. So that probably did a lot for them in terms of their confidence.
I think most of us going into TI5 would be happy with top 3, and if we got first, great, but I think top 3 was the goal.
In Game 3, we really came together as a team.
We had heroes that we were very comfortable on. Sumail was playing his Ember Spirit. That being said, the game got to be pretty hectic, and it was a very intense, high-action game. We had to play as a unit, as a team. We had to either fight as 5 or kind of like dodge as 5. In Game 4, when we had the Earthshaker Ancient Apparition ult on the Roshan pit.
We were in control of the game, but they had just picked off Sumail and they were trying to take Roche, and they all walked into the pit. We didn't have vision of them at the time, but then I told PP to throw in an Ice Vortex, and he threw it in there, and I saw a couple of them, so I just assumed they'd all be in there, and I just made a blind leap of faith, and then they were all in there, and they all died to the Echo Slam, so.
They're all together. PPD, here comes the Ice Blast, ready for the dart! In from Universe! It's a disaster! CDEC! They're gonna get wiped from the face of the earth apart from aggressive. He'll jump out, but the wombo combo!
My first reaction after the Echo Slam, I just yelled. I don't even know what sound came out of my mouth, but it was pretty loud, yeah. It took a while for it to set in. I wasn't really sure what was going on, and once we started doing interviews and stuff like that, then it kind of sunk in that yeah, we won TI.
Nobody really wants anything else right now. We're all young and we have the rest of our lives ahead of us to want other things. What we want right now is just to win.
And comparing that Sumail from back from 2015 and yourself at the current moment, so how different, how experienced have you become?
Experience, I mean, I've learned a lot, like even in like about life and in real life stuff too. So I think I'm in a pretty good like shape right now compared to what I used to be. Like I'm more experienced about everything, like live doing interviews even. So it's pretty good.
So, and as a polarizing player of EG, so are you ready nowadays to call the shots, or do you feel more confident when you have a shot caller behind your back?
It depends on the game. Like if I'm like feeling that I can just like play and don't need to make calls, then I'll just like I won't talk that much. But if the games get like rough and I'm the only one doing good on the team, then I have to make the calls. And yeah, so it depends on the situation, how it's going.
But for you as a player who is actually the center of a team, how the structure of EG nowadays under Crit is different from the mechanism that PPD has built?
I mean, we had like 3 different squads on EG with PPD. So the first one was basically PPD and Fair making all the calls, and I was just like the flashy player on the team. Then when we got our tour, then we had 2 flashy players. So then we still had Fear and PPD making the calls because Fear went to support. And I had to like play more around Artur than Artur on me. So that was kind of bad for me because I had to change my playstyle completely. Then with Bulba and Ali, it was more around me, but it just didn't work out that great at all. So it doesn't really matter. And now it's like more around me. And if the game's right, like if we think Artur is gonna carry the game, then we just like base it around Artur. Otherwise, it's around me. So yeah, that's like different. I don't really like education that much, to be honest. But if I ever would go back to school or something, I would try to become a lawyer. Or if I don't go to school at all, I'd probably become a private detective. Yeah, that's my 2 goals if I decide to do something other than Dota.
At some point, esports would definitely need lots of lawyers. But as for private detectives, that's tricky. And speaking of okay, that was career dream, and what about esports dream? What is your biggest esports dream, aside from winning the 2nd TI? Let's put it that way.
I don't know, have my own brand in esports and like have my own teams and stuff, which we kind of do in EG. So yeah, like an owner or like have some shares in that, you know, that's pretty cool. Other than that, it's just like winning.
Your captain of EG, Crit.
I wouldn't say it's too easy, but we're in a good roll right now, so it feels good for us. Seeker were definitely the toughest match we've had so far, so obviously it's getting harder, and we don't expect the grand finals to be any easier. So I'd say probably Liquid. I want to play against Miracle, so yeah.
Ну вы все слышали сами.
All this fame, all this money, all this glory, it didn't change him. That's the best part of who he is.
He's really ambitious. He always been saying to his mom and dad, let me do this, and one day I'll make you all proud of me. And he's doing it. He's on his right path.
I'm excited about everything in my future, but I'm